Experiment 1 begins with an exploration of Bunsen burners. In our laboratories, you will find Bunsen burners located in the large cabinets beneath the sinks. The Bunsen burners have a long hose attached to them, which will be used to attach them to the gas source on the back of the bench. The burner itself has two adjustments that can be made. At the base of the burner, there is a knob that can be turned, which opens a valve which controls how much gas flows into the burner. So this can be used to adjust the amount of gas, which will change the size of your flame. The other adjustment is opening and closing the holes at the base of the barrel by turning the barrel itself. These holes allow air to be sucked up with the gas to mix with the fuel so it has plenty of oxygen so it can burn completely. We will start off with the air holes completely shut and the gas turned off. We then take the hose, place it on the nozzle on the back of the bench. Now, when you use these nozzles, you will note that when you're putting the hose on, the lever is turned all the way to the side. It could be turned to the left or it could be turned to the right, but being turned all the way to the side indicates that it is turned off. To turn on the gas, we will take this lever and turn it all the way so it's pointing straight out, and that turns on our gas. We do not use this knob to control the amount of gas. We use the knob on the barrel itself, on the burner itself. So while I've got the gas turned on at the source, I'll open up my valve here to get some gas flowing through the burner. Then I'm going to grab a flint striker from my drawer. When I squeeze this, it rubs a flint against a rasp, generating a spark. I place the cup over the flame, squeeze it, may take a couple of tries. If it doesn't light initially, try adjusting your fuel. All right. Let's try it one more time. Now I've got a flame. Now this flame is rather large, and there may be a little bit of blue at the base, but most of the flame is a bright yellow. That is not a good sign because that means there's a lot of unburned fuel. The yellow is being caused by little bits of carbon that are being produced by the incompletely consumed fuel and are glowing. If I place this under a piece of glassware, I'd get a large buildup of soot. So I want to get rid of that for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want the soot. And second, as we're going to see in a few minutes, it changes the temperature profile. So I'm going to first shut down the gas a little bit to make my flame a little smaller. And then I'm going to start turning the barrel of the burner to start opening up the air holes at the bottom. As I do that, eventually we're going to see the color of the flame changing. And we see the flame turn blue. Now there may occasionally be a flicker of orange that's caused by metal shavings and salt that may be sucked up into the flame from the threads. That's not a problem, but we don't want any permanent yellow here. Also, right now, it's one uniform blue color. We don't really want that. To get a properly adjusted flame, we need to give it a little bit more air. As I add more air, look what happens to the bluish flame. It actually starts to separate into two distinct zones. We have a light blue flame on the interior with a darker flame on the outside. In between those colors is actually a region of no color. We want to know what the temperature profiles of this are. So the next step in the procedure is to test the temperature of the flame by placing a piece of wire gauze into the flame. This is just a piece of gauze made of metal wire. I'm going to place that down into the burner. When metal heats up, the hotter it gets, the brighter it starts to glow. So I'm going to go ahead and place that down into my flame and let it heat up. Now it can be a little difficult to see on the video, but as I'm letting it heat up, I start to find that the very base of the flame, where that bright blue cone is, the wire doesn't glow at all. Along the outside, there's a band of bright orange on the wire, indicating it's getting heated enough to start to glow. And on the very outside, there's a dark red band. So the brighter the color, the hotter the flame. So based on what is shown here, the colorless or non-glowing iron at the base of the flame, the outer band of dark red, and in between a bright red band, we can correlate that to the different parts of our flame. The part where the wire did not glow at all was where the wire was in the area where this bright blue cone is. On the outside with the darker blue, we saw the wire get hot enough to glow a dark red. While the interior of the flame, this colorless region in between the dark blue and the light blue, is where the wire got very hot and glowed a bright orange. So based on that, you should be able to draw out a sketch of the flame on your sheet and indicate what part of the flame is the hottest part of the flame and what part is the coolest. If you want, you can pause this while you make those observations. But the next part we're going to do, we're going to take this flame, and now I'm going to shut down the air. I'm going to take the barrel and turn it so I lose that nice blue color and I go back to that bright yellow flame. Let me cut down the gas so it's not so tall. But now I got a yellow flame. Again, I told you it's bad. One reason is it produces soot. The other reason is it affects temperature. If I place my wire gauze back into the flame, I'll leave it there for a while. Notice I'm not seeing any of the wire getting hot enough to glow. There's no red, there's no orange, it's all just plain wire. It's not getting hot enough. So what actually happened, sorry, my flame just went out, I'll reignite it. But what's happened is, without enough oxygen, the flame is not getting as hot as it did when it was properly adjusted. So that's our Bunsen burner. Once we're done with our Bunsen burner, to turn off the burner, we just turn off the gas source at the gas jet on the back of the bench. Turn it all the way to the one side or the other. The flame turns off. All right. And we're done. You can also shut down the gas source on the burner itself for the next person. And now it's ready to go. You can just detach it, put it away until someone else needs to use the burner. So that is part A, the exploration of the Bunsen burner.